Welcome back, Eleanor Victoria Stories. Sarah's heels whispered against the polished marble of the lobby, a delicate echo marking the close of a long day. The city pulsed with the rhythm of rush hour. Yet within the polished walls of her high-rise, a serene stillness enveloped her. A welcome reprieve from the airport's frenzy and the relentless pace of her business journey. As she ascended in the elevator, her thoughts danced around the intricate details of her latest endeavor, the figures and plans entwined with her very essence, pulsing like a secret rhythm within her. The doors whispered open, and she glided into the shadowy corridor, the fragrance of jasmine from the neighboring potted plants entwining with the rich scent of her briefcase. Her fingers trembled as they searched for the keys, the weight of the day settling heavily upon her, a fatigue that wrapped around her like a shroud. As Sarah turned the key and opened the door, a hush enveloped her, a silence thick with unspoken tension. The living room, typically aglow with the soft light she had left on for her arrival, lay shrouded in darkness, save for the flickering television that painted fleeting shadows on the walls. At first, she wondered if the lights had gone out, but as her vision cleared, a reality emerged that was both captivating and profoundly disquieting. In the quiet of her living room, she found him. Michael, her stepson. His imposing figure loomed over Elise, delicate and alluring, a silent tension hanging in the air. Unaware of her presence, they remained ensnared in their private realm. Sarah in the shadows, captivated by the sight of Alyssa's dark hair cascading over the cushions. Her face turned upward in a blissful reverie. Michael's hands, once small enough to cradle his own as a child, now glided over Eliza's form with a closeness that was both exquisite and unsettling to behold. Sarah's hitched, a quiet gasp that risked revealing her. A swirl of emotions enveloped her. Surprise, yes, but also an undeniable that sparked a warmth deep inside. He had always admired Elisa's oar, her clever remarks, and the way her laughter in the air. Yet in this moment, Sarah found herself grappling with the intensity of her reaction to the young woman's captivating presence. The thud of her suitcase against the ground shattered the stillness, a sharp reminder of her presence in the quiet room. Michael's gaze shot up, surprise etched across his features as Elise gasped, hastily wrapping the throw blanket around herself, seeking refuge in its fabric. "Sarah," Michael breathed, rising abruptly, his expression a blend of shock and regret. "I believed you would return by tomorrow." Sarah's parted, a silent battle waged within her as she fought to gather her thoughts. At last, she found her voice, calm and composed, even as a storm brewed inside her. "I took a flight ahead of schedule." Elise, propped up with the blanket wrapped tightly around her, gave a shy smile that hinted at unspoken secrets. "Our deepest regrets, Sarah. It was never our intention. It must be done in secret." Sarah nodded, a fleeting acknowledgement that masked the tumult within. "It's fine," she whispered, yet the space between them crackled with an unspoken tension that transcended mere words. "He'll simply meet me in my sanctuary." In the quiet of her secluded haven, Sarah shut the door softly, pressing her back against it as her heart raced in the stillness. The sight of Michael and Elise, so close and unprotected in her mind, a striking echo of the closeness she had observed and the longings it stirred deep inside her. She settled onto the soft comforter, grappling with the whirlwind of emotions that stirred within her. She sensed a hidden boundary, an uninvited witness to a fleeting moment that was never intended for her gaze. Yet within her, a deeper, concealed yearning stirred, a desire to embrace the raw intensity she had caught a fleeting glimpse of in that secret moment. As she shed her layers and readied herself for the night, Sarah's mind danced with fleeting thoughts and forbidden images. The soft glow of Elisa's in her mind, the delicate arch of her hip, and the way her fingers clutched the cushions, lost in a moment of bliss. Sarah couldn't shake the vision that in her mind. As she nestled beneath the sheets, she wrestled with a truth that thrilled her, yet sent shivers down her spine. Her attraction to Elise stirred a quiet chaos, a whisper of desire that could unravel everything she held dear. The next evening, Sarah stood in the therming heart of an art exhibit, where the city's finest mingled with fervent admirers of beauty. She had wished the exhibit, filled with daring modern works, would hurry away from the haunting memories of last night's disquieting return. As she glided from one canvas to the next, her thoughts on the sight of Michael and Elise, their forms intertwined on the couch, a scene both captivating and forbidden. The gallery buzzed softly, whispers mingling with the delicate clink of glasses, the air thick with the allure of fine perfumes, and the faint, intoxicating hints of oil and turpentine. Sarah lost herself in a realm of shapes and colors, each piece whispering secrets of unspoken. She an undeniable towards a certain peace, an abstract portrayal of longing that echoed the chaos stirring inside her. As she gazed at the painting, a voice she knew pierced the crowd's chatter, igniting a spark of recognition within her. Sarah glanced over to see Elise beside her, a hint of regret in her smile. "Sarah, I didn't anticipate crossing paths with you here," Elise murmured, her gaze revealing the depth of their unspoken bond. Sarah's heart raced at the whisper of her name from Elise's. "Elise," she whispered, her voice unwavering even as her heart raced within her. "It seems we share a quiet admiration for the beauty that surrounds us." They close, a breath away, lost in the depths of the painting before them. The air crackled with unspoken words, an undeniable that bound them together. Elisa's presence was a heady mix, her delicate fragrance intertwining with the warmth of crafting an essence that belonged solely to her. After a brief pause, Elise faced Sarah, her words laced with an unexpected allure. "A group of us are heading to a rooftop bar for a drink after this. You should come along," she suggested, her eyes lingering on Sarah, hoping for a hint of desire. Sarah paused, torn between her devotion to Michael and the magnetic she sensed towards Elise. "I'm not sure," she whispered, her gaze revealing the turmoil within. "The day has stretched on. And please," Elise whispered, her fingers lightly grazing Sarah's arm, a silent plea wrapped in warmth. It would be refreshing to share moments with someone who seeks more than just the usual connections. Sarah an undeniable towards the soft aura of Alyssa's voice. "Very well," she conceded, a hint of a smile playing it. "I would cherish that." The rooftop bar lay concealed above the city's heights, its tastefully adorned terrace revealing a breathtaking panorama of the skyline. The city lay before them, a mesmerizing expanse of glimmering lights and lofty silhouettes, dissolving into the endless embrace of the night. In a hidden booth, the city's whispers wrapped around them, their words dancing effortlessly, a surprise to their own hearts. They whispered of beauty and longing, of secrets and desires, each confession weaving an invisible thread that them nearer, both in heart. Elise's laughter floated through the warm evening air, and Sarah was captivated by the way the city lights caressed her face. The boundaries of camaraderie wavered, each fleeting look, each quiet smile, stoking the embers of a longing that stirred within Sarah. As the night wore on, their words danced closer, the warmth of the drink unraveling their guarded hearts, revealing whispers of longing and trepidation. Elise revealed her artistic battles, her vulnerabilities exposed in a manner that stirred something deep within Sarah. Text. "I envy you, Sarah," Elise confessed, her voice laced with a delicate vulnerability that deepened her charm. "Your career is remarkable, and there's a certain assurance in your presence and desires." Sarah's fingers brushed against Eliza's, a fleeting connection that spoke volumes in silence. "We each carry our own secrets, Elise," she murmured gently. "Your essence captivates, and your creations are a silent wonder. Trust in your gift always." In that fleeting instant, their gazes intertwined, and everything else faded into oblivion. In that moment, they existed in a world of their own, a silent connection that spoke volumes without uttering a single phrase. Their connection was palpable, an invisible thread that bound them in ways they dared not explore. As the bar dimmed and the staff busied themselves with cleanup, Sarah, the weight of lost moments wrapped in their own secretive bubble. Her eyes flicked to the watch, a quiet jolt back to the world and the weight of what was growing between them. "We ought to make our way back," Sarah murmured, her eyes lingering on Elise's with an unspoken intensity. Elise nodded, her eyes betraying a quiet ache. "Indeed, perhaps we ought to," she murmured, her words slipping through the air like a secret. They approached the elevator, words unspoken, the air heavy with unacknowledged desire. As they stepped down to the ground floor, Sarah sensed the heavy burden of the night's secrets, a silent reminder of the choice that lay before her. The drive back to Sarah's apartment like navigating a labyrinth, each turn reflecting the tangled web of her The streets, slick from the remnants of rain, shimmered softly beneath the streetlights, each glimmer a whisper of the delicate boundary between what is seen and what is. As Sarah reached her building, she glanced at Elise, her heart racing with unspoken tension. Care for a quiet moment over coffee? She extended the invitation, her voice tinged with a delicate uncertainty that contrasted with the daring nature of her words. Elle held her gaze, lingering in the silence, seeking any flicker of uncertainty in Sarah's eyes. "I'd like that," she finally whispered, her choice echoing the quiet strength of Sarah's heart. As the elevator climbed, a jarring sound sliced through the air, leaving an unsettling silence in its wake. The lights dimmed briefly, casting them into shadow. The car came to a stop, the silence broken only by the faint hum of the machinery and the soft rhythm of their breaths in the enveloping darkness. Sarah's heart raced, a wild beat echoing the thrill and trepidation swirling within her. "Are you okay?" she inquired softly, her words a mere breath, stretching her hand toward the space where she wished Elise might be. Elise's hand brushed against Sarah's, their fingers weaving together in that sparked both warmth and exhilaration. "Indeed, all is well." Startled, she responded, her voice betraying none of the turmoil within. In the shadows, with everything beyond momentarily forgotten, they found themselves wrapped in a realm where only this moment mattered. The usual boundaries that governed their connection faded away, consumed by the surrounding darkness that rendered the elevator both stifling and strangely expansive. Sarah, the air thrum with unspoken tension, each breath a whisper of what could never be. The delicate scent of Alyssa's perfume in the air, a tantalizing blend of jasmine and sandalwood that wrapped around her like a secret. The soft whisper of Elisa's fabric brushed against her, the heat radiating from her form a silent invitation in the tranquil chill of the night. Drawn together by an unseen, they inched closer, hearts racing in the silence. Sarah's fingers brushed against Eliza's face, exploring the delicate lines of her cheek, the gentle curve of her jaw, the inviting softness of. In that fleeting instant, they yielded to an unspoken truth, a yearning that had quietly in the shadows, waiting for its chance to emerge. They brushed together, a quiet acknowledgement of the truths they had long kept hidden. A whisper of desire, and the bittersweet thrill of surrendering to what should remain unspoken. Sarah sensed Eliza's reaction, the way she surrendered to the embrace, a delicate sound slipping from her as their tongues intertwined in a tentative exploration. Outside, the weight of expectation and morality faded into nothingness. In the shadows of the elevator, they were just two hearts entwined in a bond that transcended understanding, the whispered of their unspoken desires, a quiet rebellion against the rules that sought to keep them apart. Yet, like all things shrouded in secrecy, the moment slipped away, the energy surging back with sudden intensity, illuminating the space in a stark, unyielding light. Their bodies recoiled, breaths uneven, as they wrestled with the weight of the moment that had just unfolded. They in silence, hearts racing as the elevator climbed higher, the numbers flickering above them like a cruel reminder of the chaos swirling just beneath the surface. As the doors slid apart, Sarah and her companion emerged into the hushed corridor, their footsteps a soft whisper against the stillness, drawing closer to her apartment. The key slipped into the lock, turning with a soft click as they stepped into the room that held their unspoken truth. Elise at the threshold, her gaze drifting across the living room, a space where mere hours ago she had shared a secret moment with Michael, unaware of Sarah's quiet presence. The roles had shifted, leaving her to confront the truth of an attraction that dared not be spoken. "Elise," Sarah began, her voice heavy with unspoken truths. "I never intended for this to unfold. I'm uncertain of what lies ahead." But Elise silenced her with a tender caress, her fingertips brushing softly against Sarah's. "We'll find a way," she whispered gently. "At this moment, perhaps we should allow ourselves a little space to reflect on what just transpired. I ought to leave now." Sarah nodded, an ache of longing enveloping her. She longed to express the unspoken, to weave a connection that transcended the silence, yet words inadequate to convey the depth of their predicament. They, in silence, the weight of their palpable until Elise with one last glance slipped away, leaving Sarah enveloped in the haunting remnants of their connection and the uncertainty of what lay ahead. With the door softly clicking shut, Sarah herself lost in a whirlwind of unspoken, the sweetness of a fleeting moment of bliss, overshadowed by the weight of what lay ahead. Conflicted emotions danced within her, a silent battle of desire and trepidation as she considered the choices that lay ahead. The morning light filtered softly through the blinds, creating delicate patterns that danced across Sarah's room. She stirred from her dreams the gentle embrace of her pillows, a tender refuge from the unyielding realities that dawn would unveil. The memory of last night's fleeting moment, the spark of Alyssa's wrapped around her mind, a haunting echo that refused to fade away. As she emerged from her slumber, the lingering essence of Alyssa's perfume, a delicate fusion of vanilla and citrus, enveloped her, a whisper of longing that clung to her every inhale. Sarah approached the window, her eyes wandering over the cityscape that unfolded before her, a world both familiar and distant. The dawn crept in softly, while the world outside remained oblivious to the storm brewing in the confines of her apartment. She averted her gaze from the window, the weight of her predicament enveloping her in silence. A fleeting moment of desire shifted the course of her existence forever. It stirred long-hidden yearnings within her, leaving her precariously balanced on the brink of an emotional chasm. Her morning ritual offered scant comfort. The routine actions, washing, clothing, cooking, hollow, stripped of their usual warmth. Sarah slipped into her armor, a fitted suit that whispered of power and restraint, a sharp divergence from the turmoil that clawed at her insides. The doorbell's chime broke the stillness of her apartment, an unwelcome sound that made her heart flutter unexpectedly. As she approached the front door, an unshakable tension in the air, each step weighed down by unspoken truths. As she opened the door, her eyes fell upon Michael, her stepson. His serene facade did nothing to soothe the tempest within her. "Good morning, Sarah," he murmured, entering the apartment with a grace that spoke of unspoken bonds. "I trust I'm not intruding. I wish to speak of matters close to home." Sarah offered a fleeting smile, a delicate mask that hid the tempest of swirling just out of sight. "Certainly, step inside. Care for a drink?" They found themselves in the living room, a place where the lines of their connection had quietly unraveled. Sarah poured 2 glasses of iced tea, her hands steady despite the storm within her. In their light conversation, Sarah sensed the heavy burden of her hidden truth. She absorbed Michael's worries about his studies, his dreams ahead, yet the undeniable distance that had quietly formed between them. The weight of her secret was heavy, intensified by the tenderness she for him. Yet, as their words intertwined, Michael's expression changed ever so slightly. His gaze, once innocent and inviting, now flickered with a hint of danger, sending a tremor of unease through Sarah. She was a whisper in the shadows. He started, his voice unwavering, even as the unspoken tension in the space between them. "I must share something with you, something that weighs heavily on my heart." Sarah's heart raced, a quiet thrum that whispered secrets only she could hear. "What is it, Michael?" He inhaled slowly, his eyes locked onto hers. "I'm aware of the words, a delicate tension poised to unravel the tenuous threads of their connection. Sarah sensed a chill wash over her, a haunting stillness settling in her veins. Parted, a silent struggle brewing within, yet no sound emerged. Michael raised a hand, halting her words of regret or explanation. "I'm not angry," he murmured, his tone unexpectedly soft. "I've been lost in thought, and it brings me to a delicate suggestion, one that may appear unusual, yet holds promise for us all." Sarah absorbed his words, her thoughts swirling as Michael revealed his intentions. He revealed his vulnerabilities, the shadows of doubt that loomed over his bond with Elise. Then, with an unexpected honesty that both startled and captivated her, he proposed a daring arrangement, one that would grant him the chance to watch Sarah and Elise in a moment of closeness. "I need you to invite Elise," he said, his gaze lingering on hers, seeking a hint of agreement. "I'll linger in the shadows, just out of your sight. I'll observe from afar, concealed in shadows. It shall be a secretive display of emotions." Sarah's thoughts swirled, caught in the weight of his unspoken promise. The scheme was daring, laden with unspoken tensions and hidden desires. And yet, a hidden part of her whispered a curious sense of relief. Michael's unconventional proposal opened a door to the hidden yearnings that flickered within her, all while keeping the delicate threads of their familial bond intact. "What draws you to this, Michael?" she inquired, her tone a mere